A very warm welcome to the COSMA Cup 2025. It's a World Athletics Continental Tour bronze meeting, and it's the first ever World Athletics Continental Tour event ever held in Lithuania. We're in the Darius and Girėnas Stadium, Kaunas, Lithuania. The stadium's just a mile or so from Unity Square and the city centre. An award-winning gathering place is Unity Square. Indeed, Kaunas, one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. It's the second largest in Lithuania after Vilnius, with a population of just over 300,000, and it's a very important centre of Lithuanian economic, academic and cultural life. The first event of our programme here for a couple of hours now. I'm with you. My name is Tim Hutchings. Is the women's javelin, and this event, well, it involves Javelin, who's a 64-metre thrower at her best, along with Ariana Ince of the USA. First attempt there, just a modest 35.57 metres. This is, as I say, a bronze level meeting for European for World Athletics, and the level of performers to some degree reflects that, although there is a prize pool of over $35,000. That's about 30,000 euros. So these athletes, one of the first events up, the first track event, by the way, is off at 10 past the hour. That's the first of three races in the men's 100 metres. They are heats. The first race is at 10 past the hour. And as we watch the early stages of this javelin throw, which started literally a couple of minutes ago, you can see the conditions in the stadium are very good indeed. There's a nice breeze just blowing from their right a little bit, but it's a sunny evening in Lithuania. It's just after 5 o'clock local time. By the way, Kaunas, one of Europe's most beautiful boutique cities with an astonishing architecture. It's all interwar Art Deco architecture. The city has received the European Heritage label. It's quite a glorious place. Orenta Navikaite is fourth in the throwing order. She's a 53-metre thrower. Waiting for her mark to come up at the moment. So, Navikaite, her opener, 51.19. Now that's not bad at all. That's with less than 2 metres off her lifetime best. Quite superb by Navikaite. The next best is Verbalaite, Augusta Verbalaite. She's thrown 46.52. Gabriela Androukonis next to go. She's a 49.58 thrower. She would love to get over 50 metres. Her lifetime best, just a click under that. Navikaite, by the way, leading with that 51.19. Hard to see with these shots where the a close-up shot like that, where the javelins come down. Got no idea of the sector overall.
Visai neprastas pirmas metimas, pirmas bandymas.
So,
laukiam jos rezultato ir
jau šiemet Liveta metė 60 metrų. Tai buvo berods Birštone, ar tai buvo Kauno čempionatas, ar studentų. Ne, berods Kauno čempionate jau pirmą kartą metė virš 60 metrų. Visą laiką ietis jos kažkur skriedavo link 60-58-59 metrų.
Dabar matom 54-43 pirmasis jos bandymas.
Of course, the Eastern Europeans so love their heavy throws. I say the heavy throws, the throwing events generally. 63.98 is the personal best of Just United. As we see Ariana Ince there, I think, closing the first round. And the men's long jump underway at 5 past the hour. So that's been going for just a minute or so. Let's have a look at the situation there. I think that might have been even the first jump by Laurinas Vikash in that long jump. He's a 7:38 jumper at his best. Now back to this javelin. Verbalaite. And these close-up shots of the spear landing just inside the sector on that occasion don't really help. It would be so lovely to see the foot throw in full. Verbalaite, they're open with 46.52. So Verbalaite 48.79 there with that second round effort. So a slight improvement for her. She stays in fourth though. Magdalena Kata has just thrown. There she is. Kata. Don't have any form for her at all, actually. But Kata opened with 35.57. So, yes, a growing force, let's say. 39.58, much better. Finds another 4 meters there. In 5th place at the moment. 2 throws. Trajnauskaite and Kaunas of Poland had no throws in the first round. Now, next to go. Wearing number 97, Yeva Trajnauskaite. No throw in the first round. Gets this one right. Not sure it's big. Again, if only this camera would pull back, we could see, get an idea of the... We really do not need to be zooming in on the measuring of the mark. We need to be getting a perspective of the overall throw in the arena. 38.87. Well, she's on the board and underway is Yeva Trajnauskaite. She's only 20 years old. Next to go will be Navikaite, who's in 2nd place with an opener of 51.19. She's going well. Back to that men's long jump contest. Ten competitors, or 9 competitors, excuse me, in the long jump. .701 by Laurinas Vikash is a modest opener, but he's underway. His lifetime best 7:38, and actually he's not far off his season's best of 7:10. But anyway, back to this first heat of the men's 100 metres. The athletes out there in lane 6, you can see Favour Ash of Nigeria. He's a 9.94 performer at his best in the red there. Great athlete. Recently ran 10.16. That was back in the 3rd of May, actually, 3rd of April, actually, in Oju. Number 5 there, Jean-Christian Zorignon being introduced to the crowd. He's a 10.32 performer at his best. That was in June last year, almost exactly a year ago. 3rd in the Finland versus Sweden match last year. There's the lineup. Odamton, Karagesian, Saikauska, Zorignon, Ash and Kuchas is the lineup. So there is Marius Kuchas. only an 11.3 athlete, a long way off international class. Making up the numbers to some degree here is the 21-year-old Lithuanian Kuchas. So from the right of picture, the 20-year-old Briton Medwin O'Dampton. No outdoor races last year as an individual. He did a relay. He's from London, based in Tennessee, USA, but he actually runs for Woodford Green AC, does Medwin O'Dampton. And at his best, 10.45. That was at Eton just a couple of weeks ago. His lifetime best and season's best, obviously. Karagesian goes in 3. He's a 10.8 performer. Saikauskas in 4 in the black. In 5, Zirignon in the white. There is lane 3, the yellow of Karagesian. Really good running there from Ash, Favour Ash. For Nigeria, leading at the moment on the far side. Going well too is the Briton, but is he going to get second place? No, second I think going to Zirignon. The Swede, Jean-Christian Zirignon. 4th in the Swedish Championships last year. And that looked very comfortable indeed for Favour Ash. He's a man who's run under 10 seconds 5 times over the last 3 seasons prior to this year. He was a semi-finalist at the Olympics last year in Paris. 10.08 there. He is a classy performer, as I said. His personal best 9.94 last year. He's run 10.1 this year. There it is, Ash O'Dampton. Oh, they've given O'Dampton. No, it was Zirignon. I thought so. 10.36 for Ash. Zirignon second in 10.63. And O'Dampton 10.66. With Saikauskas 10.92. Well, here it is again. He was out to the blocks very smartly. Was Ash in the red. Won that by a couple of metres and going away very tight indeed for Zirignon in the white. The Swede and Medwin O'Dampton, the 20-year-old Briton. But Zirignon taking in 10.63. That's second place from O'Dampton's 10.66. Minus 0.6, mind you, the wind in that one. So a slight headwind, not ideal conditions. And Karagesian, a long way off his 10.8 personal best in that one. But a nice win there for Favour Ash, and I'm sure there's more to come from him. We know he's in 10.1 form. Back to this Javelin. And wearing number 50 is Magdalena Kata. She improved in round 2 to 39.58. What can she do here? We're in the 3rd round, by the way. Obviously, no throw for Kata there. Lead still with 58 metres now by Jaisu Naite. That was her 2nd round. 58 metres exactly. This is Trinoskaite, Yeva Trinoskaite, taking her 3rd round effort. Gets the white flag, spot on a line there, but I can't tell which line because of the the shots we're getting. However, trying to scout it there, 44.57. Well, that's a huge improvement. Her opener was a no throw. Her 2nd round was a 38-metre effort. Now 44.57, and that's a personal best. That's a massive personal best for Trinoskaite. Yep, confirmed that on the computer system. Great throwing. Nice conditions out there, clearly, for the javelin throwers, as we see Navikaite taking her 3rd round throw, wearing number 67. Navikaite, owned with 51.19, then a 49.84. And what she produced in the 3rd round, 48.69. So going in the wrong direction, but pretty consistent, has to be said. 2nd heat of the men's 100 metres. The athletes out there and ready. Conditions, well, Slight headwind, minus 0.6 in the first race. This race, Thor, Baczorski, Roberts, Dambrauskas, Jolwaso, and Senkovic. That's Abdul Rahman Jolwaso, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the 31-year-old from Blackheath and Bromley Harriers in South London. We saw there Gert Senkovic as well for Latvia on the near side. So the man to watch here, well, it really is Rivaldo Roberts of South Africa. Third from right in that familiar green and yellow strip for the South Africans. The 29-year-old, although he was only 7th in the South African Championships back in April, he has run 10.25 this year. That was at altitude in Pretoria. His lifetime best, 10.09 from 2023. So Victor Thor of Sweden in 2, Baczorski of Poland in 3, Roberts, the fastest in the field, goes in 4 for South Africa, Dambrauskas in 5, Jolwaso 6, second from the bottom, and nearest the camera, Senkovic. Very tight this one, goodness me, with battle royal going on here, and I think Dambrauskas is going to take it. Yes, he does. And Roberts doesn't bother to dip. I think it's the first two who go through by right to the final. That final, by the way, is the last event of the evening at 7:45 local time, of course, in Kaunas, in Lithuania. They're an hour ahead of the UK. They're on Central European time, but Dambrauskas taking that one very, very smartly indeed. Nice race from Dambrauskas. He had a battle royal there with the others. Just waiting for that time to be confirmed. Nothing yet has come up. But he has been given the win. Look at how tight this is. You can see there in the green, the South African Rivaldo Roberts just strides through. Very smooth, relaxed looking sprinter. I think probably knew he was in the first tour. And Dambrauskas winning that one with 10.48. Not as quick as the first race. Roberts 10.50. And Baczorski 10.55. It was close, goodness me. With the Thor on 10.62. First heat, remember, won by Favour Ash in 10.36. That one 10.48 by Dambrauskas, the 20-year-old. He's only 20, the Lithuanian. He'll be really pleased with that win. Now back to this Javelin contest. We're in the 4th round now. There's the series from Verabelaite. She's down in 4th place. 46 her opener, then 48, and then a no-throw in the 3rd round. The breeze just coming, I think, from the right and slightly in front of them. One more heat of the men's 100 to come as we see some of the crowd in the stadium. It's a lovely arena, this Dariusz and Grena Stadium, just to the west of a big parkland area near the city centre of Kaunas. It has the largest stand of ancient oak trees in Europe, by the way. It does the parkland near the city centre of Kaunas. Back to that long jump competition, incidentally, and the lead's 7.53. We're still in the first round. In fact, we're just starting the 2nd round. Stelchiunas leads with 7.53 from Brukas 7.46, the Lithuanian from the German. Well, the athletes haven't stripped down for this 3rd heat of the men's 100. Artinas Kolubaila we saw just then, a Lithuanian. He's only 17 years old. Best of 10.79. There's the lineup. Zazerskis, Skrabulis, Krava, Sokolov, Kolubaila. and Thor. Had Thor, not to be mistaken for the Thor in the second heat. That was Victor Thor. Now, being introduced to the crowd here, Ralph Zazerskis to the right of picture in the white. Kostas Graboulis is in 3 in lane 2. Then Oskars Grava being introduced to the crowd there in the third from the right in the navy blue. 6 times Latvian champion. Won their national championships last year. Won easily in 10.25. He's a good athlete. That is his personal best. Alexander Sokolov of Ukraine. 7 times the Ukrainian champion. Many times he's competed for Ukraine over the years. A best of 10.17. Golupaila, already mentioned him, just 17 years old, best of 10.79 last year. He has run 10.87 this year. And this is William Thor of Sweden, 25-year-old, best of 10.44. I have no season's best for Thor this year. So loading themselves into the blocks then. The first 2 guaranteed a place in the final. The first heat of the 3, won in 10.36 by Veva Ash of Nigeria. The second heat, won in 10.48 by Adas Dambrauskas of Lithuania. Well, away they go. Really good start there and great running in lane 5 from Sokolov. Sokolov steaming clear. He's dragging through into second place. The man to his left, Oskars Grava. Those were the expected qualifiers from that one. 10.65 from Sokolov. And second was Grava. Not far behind. Nice sprinting that from the 27-year-old. Best of 10.35 this year. So again, it'll be interesting to see what the wind was doing that one. He has run considerably quicker than that this year. Watch it again. Sokolov third from left. Keeps very low, doesn't he? Very powerfully built. Grava third from right. It's the 2 dark shirts who dominate this one. Third place they're going to William Thor of Sweden. But the times, I think, for all these athletes are a fair bit down. I'd like to see what the wind was up to in that one. Yeah, minus 0.5. And Sokolov 10.65 is confirmed. 10.72 for Grava. And Thor, 10.78, wasn't far behind. We'll confirm for you the finalists as soon as we can. Golupaila finishing in 4th place in that one. Now, 4th round for 106.45.16. Well, she's already thrown 48.79. That came in the second round for Augusta Verbalaite. They're going through this 4th round pretty smartly. They're not hanging about in this competition. Still, Just United leads with 58 metres from Orinta Navikaite, 51.19. Those are the only 2 over 50 metres so far. 43. That's Ariana Ince of the USA. 36 years old. Pan Am Games bronze medalist back in 2019. In her day, she's been a very much world-class thrower with a best of 64.38, although that was 3 years ago now in Zagreb. Waiting for that mark to come up from Navikaite. Lifetime best 53.18. She's thrown 51.19, 49.85 for her. So no improvement. Really consistent though. She's gone 51.49, 48.49. It's almost machine-like. Next to go, Liveta Yashunite, the 30-year-old. 7th in the Olympic Games in Tokyo back in 2021. Through 57 metres in Kladno last Tuesday. She's already gone better than that here today with 58 metres in the second round. No throw in the third round from her. What can she manage here? Can she extend her lead? Lovely technician. Very fast arm too. That looks pretty useful. That's a long way beyond the 50-meter line, but again, we're zooming in on the measurers rather than on the overall picture of how far she's thrown. What's she done in the fourth round? Liveta Jastronaite. 54.06, so no improvement, but consistently in the 3 measured throws out of her 4, or valid throws I should say, way beyond 50 metres, 58 metres exactly in round 2, remains her best and remains in the lead at the moment. So, Gabriela Androkonis is next to go. She has had 4 no throws, can you believe? And this is her 5th round effort. She hasn't had a valid throw yet. Goodness me. Lucky for her, there aren't more than 8 in it. That looked better. That looked better. That one, I think, will be measured. Good at this end, the judges say. So Gabriela Androkonis, who's a 49.58 thrower at her best. She looks the part. I wonder what distance she's been given. Androkonis, 45.63. At last she gets a mark on the board and she's into 5th place. Still the lead, 58 metres. Jastronaite against her compatriot from Lithuania, Orinta Navikaite. By the way, an update on that men's long jump competition. Kevin Brucker of Germany is in the lead now with 7 meters 65. That's his 2nd round effort ahead of Stelchunas of Lithuania who opened with 7.53. Mazur of Ukraine with his opener in 3rd on 7.46 at the moment. Nice track, this one. An unusual colour, isn't it? It's a sort of bluish grey, light grey. Coming up, just to mark your cards, is the men's 1500 metres. That's due underway. Actually, should be racing about now. They were due underway at 25 past the hour. Don't know if there's been a delay for some reason. They should be starting that far left, top left of your picture over near that throwing cage. The rather delightfully coloured turquoise throwing cage is where they should be throwing from, starting from rather. The men's 1500 field. Of course, the world of track and field athletics going from strength to strength at the moment as this season builds, with the World Championships in Tokyo just under 13 weeks away. Fabulous Diamond League meetings I was lucky enough to attend in both Oslo and Stockholm on Thursday and Sunday respectively. A little 5-day trip I had up in Scandinavia with many of those on the circuit, the managers, the agents, and plenty of coaches as well. But fabulous meetings there. The highlight, of course, of you can see the 1500 has got underway. The athletes running through at the bottom of picture. A shame we're not actually covering that race a little bit more clearly, but there was a European record, of course, from Almgren in the men's 5,000 metres in Oslo. And a certain Mondo Duplantis setting a world record in the pole vault in the Olympic Stadium in, did I say Oslo? Almgren, sorry, I meant Stockholm. Mondo Duplantis setting world record for the pole vault of 6:28 in his own capital city by the Swede in Stockholm towards the end of the meeting in Stockholm. It was rather a glorious event. Now, Unfortunately, no clock on the screen. It'd be nice to see what's going on here as we see this 1500 field. What I can tell you is that the man in the cap and the red vest in second place is Maforiran Mfalele, 26-year-old, who's run 3:32. He's a fabulous athlete, Mfalele. He's tiny though. He's 5'2". You can tell that, can't you? 1.63 m and 52 kilograms as these are 6 E's along. There's meant to be 9 starters. I'm not sure if there's a second pack somewhere behind these athletes, but Balchunas has done a good job as pacemaker there. And now Mfalele pushes on. It always helps when you don't get people standing in front of the timing clocks when there's no clock on the screen, but 800 meters there. And Mfalele stretching them out here. It's aggressive running from the tiny South African. He's 26 years old. Only 3 races so far this year, but he is fresh from altitude training in South Africa. He ran 3:33 in Cape Town a couple of months back, and then a 7:55 for 3,000 at altitude in Potchefstroom just 10 days ago. And he's beginning to forge a gap here. This is great running from Mfalele. And if he's one of those who benefits a great deal from altitude, no wonder they can't live with him. That's a 6-meter lead, it's a 7-meter lead, and he's going away with every stride here. Is the little South African as he comes towards the bell this time. Goes through there. And that gap is 8 or 9 meters now. It's very impressive indeed. It's going to be a long way under 3:40, that's for sure. They are indeed on the final lap. I think we gathered that. The chasing pack, impossible to identify them. My apologies for that. But Batasius, Simos Batasius of Lithuania will be in there. He's a 3:32 performer. The tiny figure of Maforiran Mfalele strides away. The cap is quite an unusual thing to be wearing in this day and age. Still can't get the numbers of those athletes in second and third places. Are they gaining on him? No, I don't think so. That gap is still 10 meters. And he's looked wonderful throughout, hasn't he? The gap is 12 meters now. Battle royal for second place. They come towards the line. Mfalele has won this one. It's an emphatic victory for the South African. I got his last lap at about 54.5 seconds. 3:37.42. Nice little blowout for Mfalele. And he wins very comfortably indeed there. Batasius, I think it was, who did come through for second place. He was a couple of seconds down, I suppose. 3:37.42 is confirmed for Batasius. And that will set him on his way. Say for Batasius and for Mfalele. 3:39.01 for Bracken, actually. Goodness me. My apologies. It was Shane Bracken. 3:39.01. Well, he's a 3:35 performer, is the Irishman. 27 years old. 4th in their national championships last year. Just missed out on the team for Paris. Well, make your minds up, chaps. They've given 3rd place to Bracken, 2nd to Batasius. I thought Batasius took it. Yeah, 3:39.01. And Bracken, 3:39.29. But that's nice running from Shane Bracken. 8th in Brussels a couple of weeks ago in 3:40. And he is a 3:35 performer. That was earlier on this season, actually, on the 4th of June, just 10 days or so ago. He ran 3:35 in Nerja in Spain. But nonetheless, a nice win there for Mfalele in that men's 1,500 metres. The women's high jump also getting underway now. Chumachenko amongst the favourites here. Well, the bar at 165 is very early days in that women's high jump. Laura Zialor has popped over it first time, along with Tirevrichaite. Yulia Chumachenko amongst the favourites in this one. Halle Ferguson. Next to go for Trafford AC, the English athlete. 21 years old, best of 183. Only cleared 165 this year. Some way off her best form. Urte Baiskite is a 184 performer this year for the Pyramide Club, the Lithuanian. Got a long delay here while they wait for this attempt from Halle Ferguson. That's why we were waiting, because it wasn't her turn. Well, the bar at 170 now. And Gabi Garba has failed this height. Chumachenko is passing at this height, as you would expect, I suppose. Tirevichite, excuse me, from the COSMA Club, a 183 performer. She's cleared 165 already, the bar at 170. Oh no. Well, that's a shame. And that was Halle Ferguson just missing there. She passed at 165. The opening height has come in at 170 and fails that. I think she knows she can get it though, the Trafford AC athlete. Now, Tirevichite. That's nice clearance at 170. She came in at 165. The only athlete to go clear at both heights so far. Laura Ziarlo already also in this competition. That's a beautiful clearance. There's heights to come yet for the 25-year-old. She's a 183 athlete. She should be popping over 170. I can't actually believe she came in at 165. Well, that's a nice clearance from Louise Ekman of Sweden. Ekman, a 186 performer at her best. 28 years old now. Yeah, very smooth indeed. Looked comfortable, didn't it? Matter of fact, I suppose you could say that clearance is. And they're all popping over it now. Laura Ziarlo goes clear. First time clearances for her at 165 and 170. Good work. Marshall Milton Keynes AC, Laura Ziarlo. 27 years old now. That's nice too by Baiskite. She pops over. So 4 athletes clear at 170. It's not a particularly demanding height from many of these athletes. It's not a world-class height, nowhere near world-class, so this field will get sorted out a little bit more. Nobody yet has had 2 failures. Chumachenko, by the way, is passing at this height. We can go back to this Javelin competition where Javelin has just lit up the competition with a 62-metre throw, 62.38. 58.29 there. Javelin was already in the lead with that 58-metre throw from round 2. And she went out 62.38 in the 5th round. Ariana Ince 51.31. And in fact, that javelin competition is now over as we go back to the track for this women's steeplechase, 3,000 metre steeplechase. Just 7 athletes in this. the class act here. Well, it's Tatiana Raquel da Silva of Brazil. 35-year-old, has run 9:24. Now that's knocking on the door of world class. I'm not sure if that's a pacemaker out in front. I think it probably is. Elena Gumarova, she is only an 11-minute athlete. She needs to have a little glance around if she is the pacemaker and check out that the field are closer to her. They've only been running for a minute or two, and they're already way behind her. Seen this a little bit already on the circuit this year. Inexperienced pacemakers doing a terrible job, and the field's not interested in going with them. Anything under 10:30 is really crisp running. 9:30, excuse me, really crisp running in the women's steeplechase. So I don't know if we're going to get any times on screen at all. It doesn't look like it. But a lap and a half gone. I can't quite see the names of these athletes. I think that's Gumarova. Alxa Linkute is towards the back of that group. Ida Alemani in the red. It'd be so useful if they had numbers on their shorts as well, wouldn't it? It would help you identify the athletes, but that's a 25-metre lead now built up over the first couple of laps. But that is Da Silva. In fact, it's not a pacemaker. It is the Brazilian experienced athlete, a veteran in effect at 35 years old. 17 times the Brazilian athlete. She is very much the class act in this race. She was only 13th in Hengelo on the 9th of June, so what, a week or so back, but holds the South American record of that 9:24, set in Watford actually, in the UK. She goes through there with what, 5 laps to run. Set in Watford in the UK, that national record for Brazil, and a South American record, Da Silva, set back 3 years ago in 2022 in Watford. She's run 9:40 this year. That was to win the South American Championships back on the 26th of April. Of course, Southern Hemisphere athletes, many of them already got a summer of racing behind them. The Aussies, the South Africans, the South Americans. It's a tough old ask. It's a difficult challenge when you've got the Southern Hemisphere season to contend with, and certainly your national championships. Of course, the Australians had their national championships in Perth in late April. But Da Silva here, operating at a completely different level to the rest of this field. Funnily enough, she's not great on the flat, although she's run 9:24 for the steeplechase. Her best on the flat 3,000 is only 9:18. Can you believe? And she's never broken 4:10 for 1,500 metres. I always think that athletes in the middle distances, and 3,000 steeplechase is a middle distance event, albeit over the barriers, should work on their skills or their best times at the events around theirs. So if you're a 1,500 metre runner, it makes so much sense to work on your 800 and your 3,000. If you're a 3,000 steeplechaser, you work on your 1,500, and I would argue your 5,000. But it's amazing how many great steeplechasers don't boast a very good 5,000 time, and I always think that 5,000 is rather similar to steeplechase. It's a tough old distance, tough to get right. She's tiring now. Putting her foot on the barrier there is Da Silva, and you should never be doing that really on anything but the water jump. That's quite so she's going to do it again at the next barrier. Let's see, left her picture. Watch Da Silva. Yep, she does. She's tiring, although she's a gap of what, about 35 metres now to her pursuers. Again, apologies for no times being visible. If we'd seen them start, I could have started my own stopwatch, but we didn't, or in the 1,500 for that matter. She's into the home straight before anybody else has negotiated the water jump. It's a truly dominant performance, and by this front-running effort, she's split the field apart. They're all having to red line as well to try and stay anywhere near her. I think that was Urban in second place, the Hungarian 23-year-old, 3 times the Hungarian champion. She's a 9:45 performer. Impossible, I'm afraid. And again, I do apologise for not being able to give you the time of this 3,000 steeplechase as they head out on their final lap, these athletes. You might have heard the bell just then. That gap has now become a yawning chasm. It was 35 metres a lap ago, 30 metres or so. Now it's about 40, 45 metres as she approaches the water jump for the final time. Well, it's been an exhibition run. Always good to get a clear view of the barriers and to be able to put your feet on them and get your technique right, even if she's been putting her foot on top of the barriers. It's nice to be able to gauge her performance. Good technique from these two as well, coming through in second and third as they put one foot on the barrier and then one foot in the water. She skips over that final barrier, does Tatiana Raquel da Silva of Brazil. It's been a very, very competent performance indeed. A little bit of closing pace from those behind. Oh, 2 laps to go, excuse me. I thought they were coming to the bell. I could have sworn I heard the bell a minute or so back. Wearing 100, that is Zita Urban. Only 10:07 this year by the Hungarian. That was in Budapest a couple of weeks ago. But down the back straight, Da Silva really needs to attack this last 600. She's going to test herself. Skips over that barrier. No foot on the barrier there. She did it for 2 or 3 barriers on the previous lap. Perhaps a little bit of slacking on her part in terms of focus and concentration. It is a tough discipline, and very tough too if you're all on your own. How to get a very wet camera, I think that is. Been looking for that artistic shot from these athletes. Urban goes through. She's eased herself well clear now of the athlete behind her, who I think is Laura Marsic of Estonia, 11 times their champion in the yellow. Good cross-country runner too, Marsic, by the way. When the World Cross Country was in Belgrade in March last year, she came in 45th place. Most of those in front of her were Africans, of course, East Africans. She's a 9:44 performer, and I thought she and Urban would have a really close race here, but Urban in white in second place, as we see the leader now going into the last 300 metres, Da Silva of Brazil. Urban has forged a gap between herself and Marsic. There it is, right of picture, top right of picture. It's about 15 metres at the moment. I've got a feeling that Marsic of Estonia is trying to come back at her as Da Silva eases into the final bend. It's been a lonely, lonely race for her. She's led every single step of the way. The water jump for the final time then in this rather delightful Darius and Guarenas Stadium. Albeit a little bit thin on spectators on this glorious Wednesday evening in Kaunas, Lithuania. She strides over the last barrier and makes this look very, very comfortable indeed. Tatiana Raquel da Silva wins the 3,000 metre steeplechase. It is the bell. It is the finish line this time. And behind her, there's been a battle royal. And I think Marsic has come through, and she has in fact caught Urban. What a run from her. Well, very impressive there from Negron, in fact it is. Excuse me, Alondra Negron. She's a 9:47 performer, and she caught the Puerto Rican, caught Zita Urban of Hungary there over the last 150 metres or so. Impossible to identify these athletes from these shots. I do apologise. There is Urban finishing in 4th place, but a long way down. That's been a tough run from her. Well, they call it a bit of a man killer. Da Silva 9:41.26. Negron in second place 9:48. And that from Negron is only 1 second outside her lifetime best. Be nice to see that results board a little bit longer. Well, conditions just about perfect at Kaunas at the moment. There it is. Negron 9:48. That is a second off her lifetime best. Urban 9:51, taking third. And Linkute 10:19 seemed very, very happy with that one. Well, she should be. It's a personal best by, wait for it, 30 seconds, can you believe? Conditions really good for middle distance running. It's 19 degrees centigrade in Kaunas. The sun is shining. It's a lovely, balmy evening. If it was much hotter than that, the athletes probably wouldn't be too happy. But these conditions are just about perfect for track and field athletics. Even the sprinters wouldn't be complaining too much about 19, 20 degrees. Not much breeze in the arena either. Just to remind you, the winner of that women's javelin was Liveta Jasiunaite, Lithuania, 62.38, a season's best for her. Ahead of Ariana Ince of the USA, 52.63. Both those efforts for the first two coming in the 5th round. Now the discus. This promises to be a really high caliber competition. Gudziush. Well, he's one of the greats of this discipline, Andrus Gudziush. It is a high caliber field. Daniel Stahl is here. He threw in Stockholm on Sunday. His personal best 71 meters. So, world champion back in 2017. Good. Yes, as we go back to this high jump, we're flipping around a fair old bit. Excuse me if I struggle to keep up. Now the bar is at 175, and it's seen a couple of athletes exit the competition, including Laura Ziolo of Great Britain and Tiro Civice. She was out at 175. Ferguson. Well, Hallie Ferguson. She popped over 170 at the second attempt and 175 at the second attempt. And she is the first to go at this next height, which I think is 180. The computer doesn't tell us. Hallie Ferguson then. Good speed. No. Well, took a couple of attempts. She's in 4th place. She's guaranteed 4th place. She took 2 attempts at 170. That was her opening height. And then 2 attempts at 175. Going clear at both of those. That was indeed her first attempt at 180. Well, there's what's coming up. The next events on the track, the women's 200s final B and the A, and then men's 200s as well. They'll be followed by the women's and men's 400s respectively. And the men's 100 final concludes the program at 7:45 local time. So I think this is the 200-meter field for the B race. Striding down towards their blocks. So let's have a look at these athletes. The athlete there in lane 3, that is Evelina Savichaite. She's a 25-7 performer at her best, the 25-year-old. Apologies for the picture freeze, which I had at my end. I don't know if you did at yours. There is the field. This A final. In fact, they're running the A final first. It was supposed to be the second race. That's the lineup for the second race. Now, I wonder if that's the wrong start list, because Kunuskaite, Maurina, they are supposed to be in a race at 6 minutes past the hour. And they're in lane 3. Yes, that was the wrong lineup, I'm afraid. That is indeed Evelina Savichaite, who goes in lane 3. In lane 4 there, Aista Uskinaite, her first race outdoors this year. And in 5 is Emma Marchulanaite. She's a 25.05 athlete. Zoom in here on Uskinaite. She's also a good 100-meter hurdler, by the way. Comes from Kaunas, running in front of the home crowd. The 27-year-old. But her first race of 2025. They're in lane 2. The 25-year-old Evelina Savichaite. Does look like a lovely track surface, doesn't it? There we are. There's the right lineup. It's a little confusing because the B comes before the A, but it refers to the status of the athletes. This is the B race, and the A race has the quicker athletes in it. Athletes who have run in the 22s going in the A race. Most of these athletes are in the 24-25 second range. That's a men's discus competition, by the way. They're only warming up. It starts at 10 past the hour, so we'll bring you the best throws from that, of course. Not for another 10 or 12 minutes yet will they get underway. They're up in lane 8, Olivia Vaitatite. Goodness me, so many T's in that name. Vaitatite. She's a 25.6 performer. That's Emma Marchulanaite, who goes in lane 5 in the black, right in the centre of the picture. There is Olivia. In fact, just checking, no, that's she. There's been a change in lanes. She's supposed to be in. Is she in lane 7 or lane 8? No, I think she's lane 7. Excuse me. Yeah, it was Yeva Sagiaite, just 16 years old. There's Vaitatite, 25.6 performer on the outside in orange shorts. Inside her in lane 7 is just 16 years old, is Yeva Sagiaite, 25.3 performer. And then in lane 6, I'm not sure if we've seen Aliana Funmialayo Odabiye of Lithuania. No, we haven't, and that's because she's not there. So lane 6 is a no-show. That's a shame. She was the class act in this race, or one of the class acts, a 24.9 athlete. In 5 is Emma Marchulanaite, Aista Uskinaite, Evelina Savichaite, and Lipa Ubedaite. From the inside, these names are hard for me to pronounce, so my apologies if I'm not getting them exactly right, but really strong running there in lane 5 from Emma Marchulanaite, and she's having a battle royal with the blue vest of Sagiaite on the outside. Sagiaite being closed down. Oh, and there's a fall there. The legs have gone. The legs have gone from the 19-year-old Marchulanaite in lane 5. What a shame. She was battling so hard. The winning time, 25.15. And that, if it's confirmed, is a personal best for Yeva Sagiaite, the 16-year-old. That's a brilliant run. It was 25.37. She's just run a couple of meters quicker than ever before. 25.14. Wow. No wonder she's delighted. They've got quite a talent there. Have the Lithuanians. It's the first of two women's 200-meter heats. The second race, the A race coming up, is the quicker athletes. Well, you can see there in lane 5 in the black, struggling, working really hard, overstriding, and then stumbling, crashing to the floor with about 30 meters, 20 meters to go. Emma Marchelnite, talk about giving everything, give 101% and you fall flat in your face. There it is, 25.88 by Unskinaite. So a pretty comfortable win, in fact, for the 17-year-old Zagiaite and Vaitatite, 26.72 in third. At times, as I say, a long way off international class. We're seeing a lot of Lithuanian youngsters, that field entirely Lithuanians, garnering good experience, learning to race in front of the cameras and a little crowd in the home straight. Well, that's the athlete who was third, Evelina Savicaite, 26.72. She's run almost a full second quicker than that. A lifetime best 25.79. It'd be interesting to see. Let me just check what the wind was doing in that one. Yeah, minus 1.1 the wind in that race, so it wasn't helping the athletes at all. But a personal best of 25.14 for Yeva Sajuzaite. Always great to see these young athletes getting this assistance. By the way, in that high jump competition, Louise Ekman of Sweden cleared first time that 180. She's one of several who have done that now. Well, that's Ekman failing at 185, I think it is. Can't see the next height on the computer system. Can tell you that Halle Ferguson unfortunately had 3 failures at 180 and goes out of the competition. Yulia Chumachenko cleared it at the 3rd time of asking. As we see, athletes are just striding out in preparation for this A race of the women's 200 meters. Chumachenko cleared 180. She's one of 3 athletes clear at that height as the bar has moved up now. She cleared 3rd time. Urte Baiskite cleared 180 the 2nd time of asking, and Luz Ekman at the 1st time of asking. She leads at the moment. That was her first failure just now. 183, in fact. I should have realised that was where the bar stood. So the athletes being introduced to the crowd for this one. Sabaitite won the national championships in 100 and 200 last year for the Lithuanians. Just 23 years old, good athlete. Indeed, 6 times Lithuanian champion and many won personal bests last year at 100 and 200. And Maria Montt, 5 times a Chilean champion, strides out there. She will be in lane 7. Was second in Luca over 100 just a week ago in 11:46 was Maria Montt of Chile. Her lifetime best 23.17, 23.17. That was at altitude in Bogota last year. So lane 1 is empty. Lane 2, Austa Kunauske, excuse me. There's the athlete in lane 4, Alexa Suljan of Hungary, just 20 years old. Silver medalist in the European Junior 200 a couple of years ago. That was in Jerusalem. Big talent. And 3, Vendia Maurina, the Latvian. She's just 18 years old, 24.5 athlete. Ooh, just skims that one off the long, lean figure in the high jump. So nobody clear yet. So Ekman has failed. So has Bikestite. and Yulia Chumachenko. They've each had one failure at 183. They stay in the same positions they were in coming into this height. Ekman by Kostite and Chumachenko for Sweden, Lithuania and Ukraine respectively. Now, the announcer doing a fabulous job of keeping the crowd informed, that's for sure. This race due underway at 6 minutes past the hour, and it's now running slightly late as we see another of the discus field being introduced to the crowd. Victor Hogan, we just saw, he's a 66-meter thrower. These athletes coming up the steps from the bowels of the stadium through the arch there. Just waiting for the full field and the really big names to be introduced. Miliauskas, that was. Alin Alexandru Feferica of Romania steps out now from the Steaua Bucharest club. He's a 67-meter thrower. Anything over 65 meters is massive throwing in the men's discus. Very small number of athletes get over 70 meters these days. Martinas Alekna. '25-year-old Lithuanian from the Jussis training club. 67-meter thrower himself, 67.23 his lifetime best. And then next up, one of the all-time greats in this discipline from Lithuania. Listen to this. He's doing such a good job introducing these athletes from the COSMA club. It is the one Andrius Gudzius, world champion in London 2017, European champion in Berlin back in 2018. In 2022 in Eugene, he took the bronze medal at the World Championships, Gudzius. But here is one of those all-time greats at this particular discipline. He is the Olympic champion, of course, from Tokyo. And he's a man who's been in very good form of late. He threw in front of the home crowd. In Stockholm on Sunday. Daniel Stahl, it is indeed one of the great throwers of the modern era. It's spelt Stahl, you pronounce it Stahl, just in case you're wondering. He was Olympic champion in Tokyo, world champion in 2019 in Doha, and he retained that title in 2023 in Budapest, and that of course makes him the reigning world champion, Daniel Stahl. He was only 7th at the Olympic Games last year. I was very disappointed with that, of course, was the great Swede. But now we come to the A race of the women's 200 metres. And this promises to be super competitive. There it is. Kunauske, Marina, Suljan, Fontana, Sabatite, Mont, and Janauskite. There's Marina, Bendia Marina of Latvia. She's a 24.5 performer. Well, the baby's loving it, isn't it? A bit of natural rhythm going on there amongst the crowd. So lane 8 looks to me like it's empty. Did I see a no-show from Janauskite? There in lane 4. In the red is Alexa Suljan. Yes, lane 8 is indeed empty. Away they go then. Just these 6 athletes. Showing really well at the moment is Sabatite, 6 times Lithuanian champion. She is their champion from last year over 100 and 200. Going well in the red inside here is Alexa Ziljan. In 4, Suljan. It's Fontana, in fact, I think, in 5, who's taking it. Yes, I think that was Vittoria Fontana, European Junior Champion back in 2019. Seems to have come off the boil a little bit, the Italian. Just waiting for that confirmation. That is indeed Vittoria Fontana. Person best 100 of 11:33, but she's a 22:97 athlete. That was in 2022, 23:31 there for Fontana. Well, maybe she's going to regain her form of youth. Just to remind you, she won the European Junior 100-meter title back in 2019, but she hasn't really done much for the last 2 or 3 years, really, compared with those times she was running as a youngster. She's now 24, and maybe coming back from the injury, I'm not sure. Suljan 23:74 in second. Some way back, it was a pretty convincing win, about 3 meters there from Vittoria Fontana. There she is, third from left in lane 5, going really well. Really high knees. She's a nice looking sprinter, isn't she? To the left of her lane, dips at the line there, wins by 3 meters, almost 3 meters. And a powerfully built Italian. Let's hope she is back to her best. 23:13 this year. That was windy in Savona about 3 weeks ago. There's Andreas Gudzius getting ready for this discus competition. We will focus upon that, of course. A season's best. The win, by the way, in that 100, that 200, minus 1.6. So not great conditions for sprinting. What a shame. The men's discus is underway. Victor Hogan has thrown 59.84 with his opener. $59.84 by Hogan, the opener. His opener. $52.82 by Abromovicius. And waiting for the mark to come up there for Milauskas. Milauskas $59.19, his opener. So we'll call these sighting throws for these fellas because they can go much, much further. There it is. Confirmation of his slotting into second place in this first round. Next to go will be Alin Alexandru Ferferica. He's a 67-meter thrower at his best. Now, what can he do here? Ferferica, 63.5 meters this year. Can he pump one out early on better than that? Gets the white flag. But it looks as though it's around 60 meters, almost exactly on the 60-meter line, I think. Waiting for that mark to come up for Ferferica. Fourth at the World Championships back in 2019. He is a good athlete. And he takes the lead. It was just over 60 meters. 60.22. A solid opener. He was not delighted by it. Now, Martinas Alekna. Quite slight for a discus thrower. So many of these fellas are hugely powerful and huge in stature. Alekna. Just waiting for that mark to come up. He is a 67-meter thrower at his best. $62.92. That's a solid opener. Now, the big names enter the circle then. What can he do here? Andreas Gudzius. super fast, beautiful rhythm, lovely smooth technique there from Gudjus. And that looks to me like around 63 meters. It's a little way beyond the 63-meter line. I'm sure that will take the lead. Now, what's he been given? Next to throw, the reigning world champion, Daniel Stoll. Gudjus, by the way, given 64.54. Now we're rolling. Something to chase for Stoll here, who I'm sure will pump something out better. The opener for the big Swede. Through at Turku just yesterday. Managed 70 meters there. 70.19. What's he done here? We know he's in good form. That's about 67, something like that. He's underway and going well. So Stoll will be happy enough with that, I think. Yeah, all smiles. 66.92. It's a great opener. He'll build on that. Now he's got a feel for the stadium, for the atmosphere, for the circle underfoot. Okay, Alexis Abramavicius opened with 52.82. At the moment he's lying down in 7th place. He can throw 10 meters and more further than his opener. He's a 63-meter thrower. I said anything over 65 meters is mighty fine throwing. Maybe I was doing a disservice to athletes like him. The Lithuanian. 41 years old now. He's been around a long, long time. While operating at a level a little way below Stoll. Remember, Stoll now leads after the first round with 66.92. Stoll himself is 32 years old. He'll actually be 33 just a couple of weeks before those World Championships in Tokyo. Well, I don't think his participation is anything to worry about. There's the B race of the men's 200 meters has just concluded. We've obviously given priority to the men's discus because there are very much world-class athletes in that one. Looks like Martinas Kolupaila had a good run, but Ankevicius 21.60 winning it from the outside lane in that one by the looks of things. Hogan next, open with 59.84. He's just taken that second round throw. What's he done? $53.71. Abramavicius improved to. And Victor Hogan has a no throw in this second round. Miliauskas next to go. Next event on the track, by the way, is the men's A200. We're seeing now, I think, the field for the women's triple jump being introduced to the crowd. They're due off in about 4 minutes' time. They should just start. After the men's A200, the next race will be the women's 400 final, then the men's 400 final, and then we conclude proceedings in this Darius and Grena Stadium in Kaunas, Lithuania, with the men's 100 meters final at 1:45. So that's in about 20 minutes' time. If you've just joined me, you're listening to Tim Hutchings here. This is the first World Athletics Continental Tour event ever held in Lithuania. It's a historic event, this one. It is a Continental Tour bronze meeting in Lithuania's second largest city after Vilnius, a population of about 300,000 in this city. It's a shame more of them haven't come to watch the meeting, but maybe they'll get the hang of it at a later date. Introducing this field in the women's triple jump, by the way. 9 competitors. Diana Zaganova of Lithuania being introduced to the crowd. She's a 14:43 athlete. Is Zaganova from the local COSMA club. And last but not least, being introduced to the crowd, a Ukrainian athlete with a best of 14:20, Olga Korsun. Ending over 14 meters is fabulous triple jumping, and this is a high caliber competition. 4 athletes in this field have gone well beyond 14 meters, and the best of them is Zaganova. In front of the home crowd, there is Korsun. Now back to this men's discus competition. We're in the second round. It's early days. Verforica, I can tell you, improved to 61.74, but stays in 4th in this second round. Alekna opened with 62.92. Little nod there. I think he's pleased with that. And he should be 66.03 for Alekna. Wow. Building nicely. He's only a 67-meter thrower at his best, so he's not much more than a meter off his lifetime best there. Is Martinas Alekna. Brilliant stuff. With athletes for the next race about to be brought out. That'll be the men's 200 meters A race. Well, I'll tell you what, Martinas Alekna should be pleased with that throw, because his lifetime best, 67.23, was 2 years ago, almost to the day. And there's the man doing a great job on the mic in the stadium, keeping the crowd really well informed with great information, plenty of energy. So, the 200 meter A race being introduced to the crowd. That was Russell Alexander Nazir Taib of Malaya being introduced to the crowd, the 27-year-old. 21.71 recently. Oskars Grava, 6 times the Latvian champion. Great form. I think he might set a personal best here, Grava, if the wind is kind. The headwind hasn't really helped them. There's a familiar figure under the arch. 31 years old now, Adam Jamili of Great Britain. He's been a fabulous athlete in his time. 4 times European champion. He won the European title over 200 meters in Zurich back in 2014. He's had 3 relay golds as well. He'll be in lane 5. Good lane draw. Truskauskas, Gediminas Truskauskas, the 27-year-old for Lithuania, goes in lane 6. He is 17 times a Lithuanian champion. Last year, a semi-finalist at the European Championships in Rome, having won the national title in 20.56, the season's best. Close to his lifetime best from 4 years ago now, 20.48. He's in good form too, as Truskauskas, 20.73 recently. Patryk Wykrota of Poland goes in lane 7. He's in the yellow there. Wykrota, national indoor champion over 200 this year. Best of 20.67 from a couple of years back. He's been close to it this year with 20.87. And there in the black, Kristupas Saikauskas, 21.22. His best. He's perhaps a little outclassed here. He and actually Victor Dor on the inside lane are the slowest men in the field. Well, just catching up here with this discus competition. Daniel Stahl, by the way, had a no throw in the second round. Martinas Alekna, 66.03. We know he's moved in second place Andras Gudžius 64-63 in the second round. How about that for consistency? His opener was 64-54. His second round 64-63. Just some 9 centimeters less. Further, rather, excuse me. And that implies he's really in the groove. It's fabulous that these fellas can repeat the motor patterns to such perfection again and again in close proximity in time terms and be going so well. So, round 4 for Abramovicius. He improved to 53-71, remember, in the second round. It was a no-throw, round 3. Then Victor Hogan, who had no throw in this second round, goes up to 60-86. That elevates him to... actually, it keeps him, excuse me. Keeps him in 5th place. There's the disc guy they can choose from. I know it's tempting to say discuses, but strictly speaking, we should say disc guy. Well, there's 200. There in lane 6, I think it is. Gediminas Traskauskas, the 27-year-old in blue. Traskauskas there to the left. Inside him, Adam Jamili. Jamili's had far more than his fair share of injuries over the years. A lot of hamstring problems. He's only hundreds this year. 10:39, that was at London a couple of weeks ago. About 3 weeks back, actually. Adam Jamili. But he is a 19.97 performer. There he is to write a picture in lane 5. It's good lane draw for Jamili. But 19.97 for him was way, way back in Brussels, 2016. 9 years ago now. And he's 31, so figure it out for yourself. He ran his personal best at 22, and because of injuries, he's never got any quicker. There's a time when I thought Adam Jamili would get down there in the 19.5s, but it's never materialised, unfortunately for him, largely because of injury for the Blackheath and Bromley athlete from South London. So Tour in 2, Nazir Taib in 3, Grava in 4, Jamili 5, Traskauskas in 6, Vikrota 7 for Poland, and Saikauskas in 8. Away they go. Really good start there from Traskauskas. Jamili chasing hard. He leads at the moment, the man in blue out in lane 6, going really strongly. Also going well inside Jamili's Grava in the black. It's a brilliant battle this. Traskauskas is leading though and going away, or is he? Is he coming back at him? Here is Grava in the black. Grava's going to take this one. Grava there dips at the line. Really tight for those athletes in lanes 4, 6 and 7. Jamili, I think, run out of it. Ended up back in 5th place. In his prime, he would have been way ahead of that field. He isn't the force he used to be. He would be the first to admit that. Just enjoying his dotage now. Jamili, on paper, much the quickest in that field. But today, 4th for him. And waiting for that winning time to come up. He starts well, Traskauskas. He's a nice mover, isn't he? There, 3rd from left. Also going really well, 2nd from right in the black is Grava. And he ends up taking it. There's Grava. I said he's got been showing great form. And he's waiting for that time to come through. And that men's 200 A final, waiting for the time to be confirmed. And it still hasn't come through yet. Grava 20.93. Well, I thought he might go better than that. But the wind's plus 1.9. Well, isn't that funny? Because they've had a headwind for most of the last hour or so. 20.93, 2nd Traskauskas. He was leading for most of the race, but a real battling run from Oskars Grava for Latvia. He had a target, I guess. Always easier to come back at somebody from the outside. Now, Vikrota 21.04. And Jamili in 4th with 21.37. Yeah, Grava, the only athlete under 20 seconds, 21 seconds, I should say, with a 1.9 win behind him. So, 3 races to come, the women's 400, the men's 400, and the 100 final. Let me update you with the situation in that men's discus competition. Daniel Stahl still leads with that 66.92 opener. He had a no-throw in the second round. He's about to throw. It'd be nice to go to Stahl as we see the athletes getting ready for this women's 400. We just saw Rebecca Bennett, who goes in lane 3. Astrid Ayo Lakeri Ødsgaard of Norway goes in lane 4. There is Ødsgaard for the Jalva club. Best of 52.10. That was in Lahti last year for the 23-year-old. Mette Baas of Finland goes in lane 5. Good lane draw that for the 7 times Finnish champion. She's tall, 1.79 meters, and in very good form in 2. Baas, 52.1 in Lahti back in May last year. But last Wednesday ran a personal best for 200 meters. Modesta Justa Maroskaite of Lithuania goes in lane 6. And Kinga Gachka of Poland goes in lane 7. The 23-year-old, 6th in their national indoor championships back in February. Best of 52.03 in Bydgoszcz last year. She's already in good form this year. 52.8 she ran in Bydgoszcz on the 30th of May. So what, a couple of weeks ago. And Emma Sarafinaite of the Enius club for Lithuania goes in lane 8. There she is, a 56.6 athlete. She must be very, very nervous, this youngster. 21 years old, but a little bit outclassed by the majority of this field. And she will be running blind, of course, from lane 8. You didn't see the athlete on the inside. Eva Ausreite, a 55.5 performer. And Rebecca Bennett of Australia goes in lane 3, the 26-year-old. Who ran 53.11 back on the 10th of May in Bellingfield, Washington. Spends a lot of her time in the USA. A lifetime best 52.61. So this field, actually, just looking through it, is fairly evenly matched, apart from Modesta Juste Moroskaite in lane 6, who has a best of 50.49. That is her lifetime best. It is the national record. That was set in Huelva in Spain back in May 22. There's Ødsgaard in red. Easy to spot that lovely bright red strip. Number 9, that is Mette Baas of Finland. As I say, in very good form. Now, she ran a 200 Baas on the 11th of June. That was what? Just last Wednesday. A week ago today, she ran a personal best in Lahti in Finland, 23.30 on home ground. And to me, that transfers to 400 meters very favorably. This is her first 400 outdoors of the season for Mette Baas. Watch her in 5. There's Ødsgaard. She goes in 4. Ausreite goes on the inside. Just a youngster, 18 years old. She's a 55.5 performer. I wonder if she can produce something special here from the inside lane. So 7 athletes out there then for this women's 400 meters final. Well, the rather beautiful city of Kaunas, Lithuania, sits rather delightfully on the confluence of 2 of the largest Lithuanian rivers, the Nemunas and the Neris. I wonder who's going to flow around this track the best of all in this 400 metres. There's a nice purity to the 400, isn't there? One lap of the track. Not much room for error, but you have to gauge your effort and spread it out right around the whole circuit. There's no prize for being first through 300. Where they go then. Now, Morawskaite in lane 6 has the personal best of them all. But Kinga Gachka of Poland out in lane 7 has gone off very well. Silver medalist in the European Championships long relay back in 2022. Also great running from Mette Baas, the tall Dutch athlete in wine red kit in lane 5. Leads at the moment up to 250. Trying to come back in her now is the little figure of Morawskaite in the red. In lane 4, Erdsgaard going well too. Erdsgaard in second place in the red is coming back at the Norwegians running bravely here. Is she going to catch Baas? Baas staying strong through the last 50, but these two pulling away. There's a battle for third going on behind, but Mette Baas of Finland takes this one. And very impressive it was too, because she was under pressure the whole way from the athlete inside her, Astrid Ajo-Lakeri Erdsgaard of Norway, who must have been battling away. She had a target, but I suspect Baas was aware that she was coming. She probably was could hear her, or at least was just out of her range, her field of vision, Erdsgaard. But I suspect Baas will have known she was being chased hard. And she wins her first outdoor 400 of the season. Very impressively there. Let's try and catch up with the times from that women's 400 final. Well, they haven't come through yet. But Mette Baas had to keep working all the way there. Erdsgaard made her work for it, and a good run for the Norwegian in lane 4. Still nothing through on the results computer. There it is, 52.81 for Baas. And Erdsgaard 53.08. So that's pretty solid from Baas. Her lifetime best 52.10. She's just run 52.8 in her first race of the season. So I think she can be pretty pleased with that. There it is, their results have just come through. Morawskaite 54.14 in third place. And let me update you with what's going on in that men's discus competition too. Good to see that these athletes gave absolutely everything. That's Morawskaite. She was third in 54.14, and she's a 50.49 athlete, the 29-year-old. The athletes being introduced to the crowd now for this men's 400 metres. But let's go back and have a look at the situation in the discus. Let me update you with that. Stoll, by the way, now has improved to 67.03 in the third round. Furfricha 66.36 in the third round. Breathing down the neck of Stoll, only 2/3 of a metre lead, and Martinez Alekna 63.39 in the third round. He stays in third place with 66.03. So there's exactly 1 metre covering the first 3 after 3 rounds in that men's discus competition. We'll keep it coming to you as best we can as we see the athletes being introduced to this crowd. That was Loic Prévost of France, 6th in the French Championships last year, the 27-year-old. He's a 45.4 performer at his best. That's Mikita Barabanov, the 24-year-old Ukrainian. Ran a recent personal best of 46.43 in Lutsk. That was just a week ago. Lukasz Sutkus for the local COSMA club. 46.36 his lifetime best, the Lithuanian. He will go in lane 6. That's a nice lane draw for him. In the black, in lane 7, Keenan Blake of the Netherlands, the 22-year-old, bronze medalist at the Dutch National Indoor Championships back in February. Included a personal best of 46.93 in the heats. That was indoors. Of course, he's a 45.7 athlete outdoors. And Edvardas Augstuolis of the COSMA club goes on the outside there for Lithuania. 47.99, his best. Well, quite a spread of abilities here because the youngster, I say youngster, he's 24, Lukas Somuksnis goes in lane 1. He hasn't never broken 50 seconds. He is for the COSMA club, though. He's in that blue strip there nearest the camera. In lane 5 is Barabanov. He's in the yellow strip for Ukraine. Back to this discus then. We're in round 4, and nobody has improved yet. Actually, Victor Hogan, 61.77 in round 4, but he's in 5th place, stays in 5th place, making very marginal gains from his opener. And Alekna about to throw. Here he is. So Stahl about to throw. Very fast for a big fella. That's nice again from Stahl. Looks around 66. I'm not sure if it's an improvement. He's gone 66.92 with his opener. Then a no throw. Then 67.03. That's the big one. Stahl. Well, he enjoyed that one. What's he been given? 67.70. It was an improvement. Wow. Warming to the task is Daniel Stahl. He has thrown over 70 meters this year, though. So there is undoubtedly more to come from Stahl. They're in lane 6 in this penultimate race of the meeting. Is Lukas Sutkus. Now, back to the discus. Round 6. Abramovicius throwing next. His best throw, 53.71, coming up in the second round. Close to that in round 4, 53.25. So he's been consistent. He's gone 52.53, no throw, 53. As I said, though, he is 41 years old now. One of the veterans of this discipline. And he's given 54.29 in his 5th round throw. One life to come. So a slight improvement there for Abramovicius in that discus 5th round. Into the circle steps Miliauskas, Amandas Miliauskas. As we go back to the start of this 200 meters. Men's 400 meters, excuse me. Lukas Sutkus for the local club goes in lane 6. And in the yellow there, centre of the field, is Mikita Barabanov of Ukraine. They've got to judge this one right. Aggressive running from Keenan Blake of the Netherlands in the black. Out in lane 7, down the back straight. It picked up Augstuolis within 100 meters. Long legs, long stride from Keenan Blake. Has he judged this one right as they go through 250 now on the crown of the bend? Really good running in lane 4 from Loic Prévost of France. Prévost, he's a 45-4 man at his absolute best. Has he judged this one best of all or not? Because Blake is holding his lead at the moment. He's got a 1 meter lead and he's staying strong to the line, or is he? Trying to come back at him is the Frenchman Prévost. The pair of them way ahead of the rest. And he does cross the line about a meter to the good. Brilliant that from Keenan Blake. He was running blind, really, with most of his main rivals inside him. But that's a very, very solid run indeed from Keenan Blake. His season's best, 45.73. It is his lifetime best, and he won it by over a second. 46.30 there. Well, we know the wind is swirling around the arena. He'll be disappointed with that time, I suspect, but a win is a win. It's a nice habit to have. He won in Italy a couple of weeks ago in 45.73, a lifetime best. And he set off like this, didn't he, out in lane 7, in the black, left of picture, like a man full of confidence. He really attacked the distance, hung on strongly down the home straight. And although Prévost of France ran a fine last 100, he couldn't close on the eventual winner, Keenan Blake from Netherlands. So Netherlands and France 1 and 2 there. Back to this discus. Gudzius steps into the circle. No throw for Hogan in the final round, in the fifth round, excuse me, not the final round. Now, that men's 400. Let me just confirm. 46.30 for Keenan Blake. Loic Prévost, 46.49. Lukas Šutkus in third place, 47.45, a season's best for him. Here is Gudzius again. Beautifully flighted. And that's not bad. That's around 65 metres. I wonder if what he's done here. He might have improved there. He's had a couple of 64-metre throws so far. Gudzius, yeah, 66.41 in the fifth round. He has improved. I thought he had. Keeping the competition honest, keeping Stoll on his toes. So Gudzius 66.41 in round 5. And 63.93 for Alekna. No improvement for him. His big one came in round 2, 66.03. He's had a really good consistent series, has Alekna. 62, 66, 63, 64, 63. Quite some series. And Gudzius 66.41 with that fifth round effort. He had a no throw in round 4. As we take a look at the triple jump. Diana Zyganova, I think that is, who's just taken her jump. Well, the computer system not updating at the moment. $13.23 for Zyganova. The results system not updating at the moment on this particular discipline. Apologies for that, because she is 8th in the jumping order. She's jumped 13.23, but we can't see any other jumps, distances from the first round. Well, Stoll is about to take his fifth round throw. So just one race left. It is the men's 100 metres. Final, that is. The crowd being introduced to the crowd. The field, I should say. Dampton goes in 1. In 2 is Zirignon of Sweden. In 3, Bachorski. Wearing 73 is Rivaldo Roberts, the South African. who looked very relaxed in his heat to finish in second place. He ran an impressive 10.50. There was a headwind in those heats, marginal headwind in those heats. Victor Tor, we just saw, he's made it through to this final as well. Victor Tor, he was fourth in the second heat, so he and Baczorski both getting through the non-automatic qualifiers, getting through from the second of the three heats. That heat was won by Adas Dambrauskas in 10.48 from Rivaldo Roberts. We just saw the South African. He goes in 6, Roberts. Dambrauskas, the winner of that second heat, goes in 5. And then from the first heat, the winner, Faber Ash, he goes in lane 4. As we go back to this discus competition. That's the beginning of the 6th round. A no throw there for Alexis Abramavicius. His best 54.29. Coming in the 5th round. Stretching for more there, but he couldn't find it. Miliauskas, 56.74 with his final round effort. But he'd thrown 59.19 with his opener. So the Lithuanians, Abramavicius and Miliauskas in 7th and 6th respectively. Now, number 42 next to go. That is Victor Hogan. Oh, just loses balance there, I think, Hogan. He's in 5th place with 61.77, but he is a 66-meter thrower at his best. South African opened with 59 meters, then went 60 in the 3rd round. And Hogan, 61.78. Well, he does find a little bit more in the 6th and final round. It's a 1 centimeter improvement over his 4th round effort, but he stays in 5th place. Always nice to finish with the best throw of your series, albeit by a tiny margin. It shows you've stayed focused, you've applied yourself. Now, next to go, Andreas Gudzius. He's throwing 4th from last because he improved so magnificently in the 5th round to 66. Man, that's a no throw from him. What a shame. It's had a really solid series. 64, 64, 62, no throw, and then 66, 41 in the 5th round. A no throw for him there means he will finish, well, he could finish yet 4th if Alekna and Ferfarica can go past him. So a little bit frustrating that for Gudzius. We know he is one of those big throwers, the world champion London 2017, former European champion. Was 8th at the Olympics last year, 6th at the Olympics in Tokyo. Always there or thereabouts. Now, Alekna, brother of the world record holder. That's about 63 meters. I'm not sure there's any improvement there from him. He's thrown 66.03 already. No, he doesn't look overly happy, does he? Of course, Mikola Alekna, his older brother, in Ramona on the 13th of April, throwing out to a new world record of 75.56. Quite astonishing distance. Ramona, though, is a facility where the winds are very, very favourable. You can't have wind-assisted discus or hammer or javelin, but sometimes you feel as though the discus certainly should be, because I think the general opinion is that that facility can give people 3 or 4 meters. Now, next to go, it is Ferfarica. What can he do? No improvement from him either. The pressure is on these men. They're all trying very hard. That's about 63 meters and a no throw anyway. Gets the red flag from the circle. What a shame. So 3 out of the 6 throws so far in this final round have been no throws. And now, can he finish with a flourish? Daniel Ståhl of Sweden. He has the competition won. That's confirmed. He's had the 3 best throws of the evening. 66.92 he opened with. That would have won it. Then he had a no throw second round. 67.03 round 3. 67.70, the best throw of the day so far in round 4. And it is a World Championship qualifying mark, that 67.70, although he's already done that with a 70-metre plus throw this year. And a no throw in round 5. What can he do here? Can he push one out here towards 17 metres? Can he find another couple of metres? Ståhl. No, he can't. Perhaps the incentive not there to really go hard. That's about 63 metres. He fouls out. It matters not. He's won the competition. 67.70. That was a round 4 throw from Gudzius's 66.41, which came in round 5. So by just over a metre, the Swede beats the Lithuanian. And Ferfarica of Romania, good throwing from him in round 3, 66.36. So, the final race of the day then, the men's 100 metres final. This was actually due off at 7:45, so they're running pretty late. Going to get in there just in time before the 7 o'clock news, or whatever is going on at 7 o'clock locally in Kaunas. I've enjoyed this meeting. It's first time ever there's been a Continental Tour meeting, World Athletics Continental Tour meeting in Lithuania. This is a bronze level meeting, and I'm sure this will pick up in years to come. So the lineup from the inside: Odampton of Great Britain in 1, Zirinho of Sweden 2, Bachorski of Poland 3, Ash of Nigeria in 4. Watch him. Dambrauskas Lithuanian of 5. Roberts, Tor and Sokolov complete the lineup. Again, really good start there from Ash in the red. Ash of Nigeria leading at the moment. And he takes it. It was over in a flash, wasn't it? And the making of Champions Club, he comes from the Favor Ogene Tajiri Ash of Nigeria. He's only 23 years old. That was very, very impressive indeed. Ash there, who was an impressive winner of his heat earlier on. Ash won in 10:36 his heat. It was the fastest time of the day by some margin. 10:43 there. No wind, I think that said, but he wins that final. Does Ash. 5 times he's broken 10 seconds in the last 3 years, but he's very quick out of the blocks. Great pickup too over the first 20 meters or so. He's just quicker, and look at that acceleration through the midsection of the race. Holds his form well, moves away from this field and dips at the line there. A little bit of daylight between him and the rest, it has to be said. Just waiting for that time to be confirmed in our computer system, but it went to form. There it is. Tor in 7th place, 10:82, and Bachorski, well, 11:23. I think he must have been injured, Bachorski, because he got through as a non-automatic qualifier in 10.55. He was 3rd in his heat. Ash wins in 10:43 from Roberts, the South African, 10:48. There wasn't a big margin at the finish line. Couldn't really see it with that rear view, but a nice win for Favor Ash. He was the leader for Nigeria in the 4x100 in recent relays. Gudzius, well, he looks quite happy with the way his season's unfolding. There it is, confirmation of the win for Daniel Ståhl, 67.70, his best. Gudzius just over a metre behind, and Ferfarica of Romania, good throwing from him. In fact, a great competition. The first 4 over 66 metres. They do love their heavy throws in Lithuania, and they got a real display here of high calibre in that men's discus competition. Season's best for Ferfarica and Alekna, and a World Championship qualifying time for Daniel Ståhl, although he did already have it, so shouldn't get too excited about that. Hard to pick a performance of the meeting. It's been a great contest. I can tell you that in the women's high jump, Chumachenko won with 183. She cleared that at the second time of asking, better than anybody else. Couldn't get over 186. And Daniel Stahl going to be interviewed now on the one of the stadium announcers. That men's 1500, by the way. That was won in 3:37 by Mafori Ryan Mfalele. He won it by about a second and a half. Let's listen to Daniel Stahl. Well, hard to hear Daniel Stahl, but that women's triple jump is still going. It started perhaps a little bit late because they are only in this second round, and there's no more track races to come. Well, Linda Suka of Czech Republic is a 1384 jumper. What can she do here? At the moment she's lying in 5th place, 1319 in round 1 and in round 2, exactly the same distance. Well, that looked pretty strong. That looked pretty strong. I don't know if she's gone any better. It's a strange one, this, because this event was due to get underway at 7:25. And it clearly didn't, because we're only in just starting the 3rd round. And frankly, those 2 rounds shouldn't have taken very long at all. Well, Krasutska, I think that is, jumping now. Or Baranivska, excuse me. Oh, Sarajeva even. She's next to go. Yeah, that was Baranivska. We saw just now. Who has taken the lead with that 3rd round effort, 13:39. Now, Yekaterina Sarajeva of Azerbaijan next to go. She's a 13:89 performer. Is Sarajeva. No jumps in the 1st and 2nd rounds. And another no jump from her. Goodness me. I don't know if the wind's causing her problems. I don't think there's a lot of wind down there in the stadium floor. Up against the, very close to the spectators. They're reasonably well sheltered. That's 3 no jumps from Zarayeva, the Azerbaijan athlete. If she could go out to 13:89, her lifetime best, she would take the lead by a goodly margin. So it's there for the taking. Hanna Krasutska is next to go. 14:15 athlete at her best. There's her card. Krasutska opened with 12:78, then 12:88. She has gone 13:51 this year, so she's gone a lot better than she's jumping tonight. That looked better. That looked better. But she hasn't stopped to look back at it. It's getting measured. So has Krasutska moved from 7th upwards at all here? Krasutska waiting for that 3rd round mark to come through. 13:39 is the lead by Baranivska from Korsun. Another Ukrainian, 13:23 in this 2nd round. So Ukrainian 1 and 2 from Zyganova of Lithuania in 3rd place with 13:23. Krasutska 13:15. She does find quite a bit more ground there. She moves up to 6th place from 7th. Now Grikšaitė. She's the 13:84 performer. She's lying down in 7th, just been shunted down to 7th by Krasutska. That looked okay. She doesn't look pleased with it. The challenge of the triple jump is to keep that momentum going from one phase to the next. So when your feet hit the ground after the hop and then after the step, try not to lose momentum. And if you've seen videos of Jonathan Edwards' world record back in 1995 in Helsinki, you'll see how it should be done. It should be the aspirational technique of every triple jumper. Enormous speed he generated on the runway, and then his feet just kissing the ground almost in between efforts because he had so much speed. He just wanted to tap the ground and move on to the next phase rather than really explode through each phase. It was quite astonishing. I mean, some people would argue he did explode through each phase, but he lost so little momentum on each re-contact with the ground. That was what was unique about Jonathan Edwards' world record, which has stood the test of time. I mean, its 30th anniversary coming up this summer. Can you believe it? And it's resisted all challenges, generations of challenges, of challengers, I should say. So the lead by Baranivska, Victoria Baranivska of Ukraine, 13:39. Grikšaitė 13:36. With that 3rd round effort, has moved into 2nd. She's separated the two Ukrainians, Baranivska and Korsun. But still nothing beyond 13:50 in this competition. As we see Sinai, Maria Sinai of Ukraine. She has had only one valid jump that 3rd round, and no jump for her. 12:85 in round 2. Has her in the 8th place at the moment. Sarajevo, mind you, has had 3 no jumps, as we've seen. Now, Zyganova of Lithuania then. 13:23, good opener, but then a no jump in the 2nd round. She's in 4th place. Trying to get the crowd behind her here. And they are getting behind her. Here's the run-up. Can she find more distance? Fabulous first phase. Maybe a bit too much. Just losing that rhythm through the 3 phases. And a no jump anyway. What a shame. But she's going for it. She's attacking here. Korsun will be next to go. Olga Korsun. Now, there's her card, 13:08 and 13:23. She was busted for doping back in 2019. She sat out a 2-year ban from July 19 to July 2021. Always sad to read that on the CV of an athlete, but I believe it should be brought to people's attention. Well, she looks pretty pleased with that. Looks pretty pleased with it. Of course, soon opened with 13.08, then 13.23. Has she improved here? Her lifetime best outdoors 14.20. Her season's best 13.82. Did that in Dakar back in May, that 13.82. Actually competed a few days ago in Filote. Jumped 14, a windy 14.06. 13.23. Well, that sounds familiar. From course soon. She jumped 13.23 in the second round and 13.23 in the third round. So confirmation of that discus result, Stall 67.70. We've already seen that, but just to reiterate the calibre of that competition. 4 men over 66 metres, and Ferfaricio and Alekna taking advantage of good conditions. I think the breeze in the favour of those athletes, 66.36 and 66.03 for the Romanian in that one. And they both look very pleased indeed with that. Alekna, of course, for Lithuania in front of the home crowd. We've enjoyed this athletics over the last couple of hours. We're going to stick with this triple jump, I'm told, even though there is nothing else going on in the stadium. It's been a bit of strange timetabling, perhaps, but women's triple jump, after 3 rounds, that's how it sits. Victoria Baranivska, 13.39. A very slender lead from Aina Griksaite. And, of course, soon, not far back behind them, all those athletes. Look, you can see the first 7 squeezed between 13.39 and 13.15 inside 24 centimetres. 7 athletes with a personal best for Banyusite in 5th place of 13.20. Banyusite, well, 13.20. She came here with a personal best, the 19-year-old, of 12.44. She's improved, well, most of a metre. That's a brilliant bit of jumping from her. She lies in 5th place at the moment. That's 13.20 coming in the second round. So the first 3 rounds done. That card showing us the halfway stage situation. And they will now jump in reverse order, of course. Some of them able to relax, and it's a long time until their next jump. Others just about to jump. Well, Sarajevo had 3 no jumps in rounds 1, 2 and 3. So this is Maria Sine. Unfortunately, Ekaterina Sarajevo doesn't get to jump on. Sine, 12.85 in round 2, her best. Oh, and that was a massive no jump. She was way beyond the front edge of the board there. I don't know if the wind is causing them problems or not, but that was nowhere near. I'm just looking at the wind speeds. They're very gentle wind speeds. I can see a minus 1.1, but most of them are around a half a metre per second behind the athletes, so the wind shouldn't really be troubling them that much. Krasutska next to go. 12.88 for her in the second round, and then 13.15 in the third round she improved to. Well, Krasutska looking to improve. If she can find, say, 10 centimetres, she can move up 3 or 4 places. In fact, she can move up to third place. While she's in 7th, if she can find 10 centimetres, she'll move up to 3rd. It's so tightly packed at the moment, this contest. 12.92 for Krasutska. No, going in the wrong direction. She's jumped 13.15. If she could jump 13.25, she'd move into 3rd. Now, Suka. Linda Suka. What can she do? Getting the crowd behind her. Oh, just loses that one. What a shame. 8 times the Czech champion. Suka competes for the Skoda Pilsen Club. Went out in qualifying at the European Indoors back in March in Apeldoorn. So next to go will be Benyosite. She's the athlete who jumped that massive personal best in the second round, 13.20. Nice speed, nice rhythm. Well, she knows she's in the groove by her own standards, and she knows she's going really well. Areha Benyosite. She's only 18. That's a 13.20, by the way, as a personal best by 9 centimetres. Just checking. Our system says 12.44 her personal best, but I've double checked it, and her personal best in the triple jump is actually 13.11 from back in. So she's improved by 9 centimetres. And that 4th round jump for her doesn't change things. Next to go, Zaganova. So, Diana Zaganova, 28 years old, best of 13.23 for her, coming in the opening round. After that, she's had 2 no jumps. Now that's not bad. That's not bad. That might be an improvement. She's lying in 4th with 13.23. Her only valid effort so far. Waiting for that mark to come up. European Under-23 champion back in 2019. She's massively talented. 13.38 for Zaganova, and that does shake things up a little bit. And that moves her up into 2nd place, eases her past Grigsaite, who was in 2nd with 13.36. That's a nice jump. World University Games silver medalist a couple of years back too, Zaganova. She's got a good competition temperament. Now, Korsun to go next from Ukraine, 13.23. She did in round 2 and round 3. Really good consistency. Firing herself up for this one, Korsun. She's a 14.20 jumper at her best. really stretches for that one. 14.20 she did in May last year. Indeed, last year she produced her 4 biggest jumps ever. So she had a good 2024, having come back from that ban in 2021, doping ban. She's lying in 4th place, though. She's been shunted down to 4th with that big 4th round effort of Diana Zyganova. 13.38, 13.21. Nope, no improvement, but what consistency. 13.23, 13.23, 13.21 in rounds 2, 3, and 4. That suggests fabulous technical specifications, so to speak. Targeting and getting it right. Now, Grigsaite was in second place. Been shunted down to 3rd. That looks pretty good. 12.99. She had a no jump as an opener, then 12.99, then 13.36. She's looking for 13.39. That's what she needs to take the lead. Gets the white flag. Now, has she got it? 13.39 or more would do, because on countback, she's been jumping really well. 13.36, her 3rd round effort. She's lying in 3rd. She's a 13.84 jump. 13.50 takes the lead. Wow. Grigsaite in round 4 becomes the first athlete to go through 13.50 in this contest. And then Baranivska gets the white flag. Now, she has seen her lead snatched away. Grigsaite is at 13.50, by the way. Hasn't come up on the computer. I'm not quite sure why. Seems to be a bit of a lag at the moment, but she has taken the lead. 13.47. That's quite some response. What a battle we've got on our hands. Baranivska goes out 13.47. Nearly regains the lead from Grigsaite's 13.50. That is superb. Now Grigsaite's 13.50 has come up. And 13.47 puts these two out in front and battling away. Now, Maria Sinek. Only one valid effort. Came in round 2, 12.85. She's a 14.12 jumper. If she could find that sort of form here, she'd take the lead. Not sure if she's delighted with that. Next to go is Krasutska. There's her card. Best of 13.15 coming in round 3. Krasutska gets the white flag. Sina, by the way, with that 5th round effort, another no jump. She's had 4 no jumps out of her 5 efforts. Just the 1 jump so far, 12.85 measured, and that was the 2nd round, and puts her in, keeps her in 8th place. Krasutska, don't know if she's improved. It is round 5 for the athlete whose season's best 13:51. She hasn't been able to get out to today. 13:18, a very marginal improvement on her 13:15 from round 3. Next to go will be Linda Suka. She is in 6th place. No change in these bottom places at the moment. So, Suka looking to get the crowd behind her. Oh, no, loses it again. I think she did that in the previous effort too. It's another no jump. Strange, because her first 3 efforts were so consistent. She went 13:19, 13:19, 13:14. She's in 6th place and obviously stays in 6th place. Then she had a no jump in round 4, ran through, and she does the same there in round 5. Almost like she's trying too much. But if she could find 5 centimetres, she'd move up a couple of places into 4th place. She stays in 6th. Aurea Benyosite goes next. That 13:20 in round 2 from Benyosite was a personal best. And that looked pretty good too. I think she's gone better and she knows it. These athletes usually know within a couple of centimetres how far they've gone. And she was smiling and bubbly and bounced out of the pit there. Looked very, very pleased with that effort. I think she might have just gone a bit further than 13:20. She might have set her second lifetime best of the competition. Aurea Benyosite. 13:20. She backed it up with a great round 3, 13:14. Oh no, 13:11. But what a series she's having. Goodness me. Now, Zargainova, I should say, excuse me, in 4th place, coming into the second half of this competition. And she's now in 3rd, thanks to that 13:38 in round 3. Excuse me, in round 4. So she opened with 13:23, then a couple of no jumps, and then 13:38. So the Lithuanian then needs to find 9 centimetres to move. Ooh, and that might be good too. That camera angle doesn't really give us a great idea of how well they've gone. I'm going more by the reaction of the jumper themselves than I am able to gauge it with that measuring board to the left of picture and where they land in the sand. What's she done? She's jumped 13:38. She needs 13:47. In fact, 13:48. Oh, 13:39. Well, it's a 1 centimetre improvement, but not enough. She's got 1 life left. That's the 5th round for her. She will stay in 3rd place. And then we're into this fascinating battle between the leading pair. Victoria Baranivska, who was in the lead at halfway, will jump last in this 5th round. Aina Grigsaite will jump next. Here she is. Well, it should be Grigsaite. Is she passing? Oh, excuse me, it's Korsun, of course. After 3 rounds, she was in 3rd place. That looked pretty useful from Korsun. There's a ripple of applause from the spectators around that triple jump. Now, Korsun has been shunted down to 4. 13.23 for her. Twice in rounds 2 and 3 she's hit. .13.07. No change. Stays in 4th. She opened with 13.08. In fact, it's the shortest of her jumps so far. 13.08 she opened with, then a couple of 13.23s, 13.21 in round 4, and 13.07. But they're all within, 13.07 to 13.21. They're all within 14 centimetres. Their first five valid jumps she's had. She's absolutely brilliant. Now it's Grixite. She's in 2nd place. 13.50. Oh no, she's in the lead, excuse me. She jumped massive in the 5th round. She was in 2nd place after 3 rounds with 13.36 to Baranivska's 13.39. Then she went out to 13.36, nearly took the lead in round 3. 13.50 in round 4 gave her the lead. And Baranivska came back with 13.47, so very, very close between this pair. Grixite, 13.45. Well, it's a great follow-up to her 4th round, 13.50. It might help if there's a countback situation. I'm just trying to see, because Baranivska... Actually, Baranivska has the... Yeah, 13.47, her best. And her 2nd best, Baranivska, is 13.39. So she does have 1st and 3rd best jumps of the competition so far, as the round 5 is about to end. There it is, and Baranivska on 13.47 was looking for another 3 centimetres. If she could find 13.50 to match Grixite's round 4th jump, then she would go into the lead. She doesn't look delighted with it. I don't think it's as far as she wanted. She needs 13.50. That would do it with 1 round to come. $13.42. No, just like Grixite, it's a greater jump in the 5th round, but Grixite's 5th round jump slightly better, and the Lithuanian stays ahead of the Ukrainian with 1 round to come. Okay, so the athlete that was in 8th at the halfway stage starts the 6th and final round. Maria Sinai. She's compact and fast, but isn't happy with that one either. She's had just 1 valid jump from the first 5 rounds. Gets the white flag there. 12.85 in round 2 is the best return she's had, Sina, and she's a 14.12 jumper. It's been a tough old day for her. Not happy at all. The mark goes into the keypad, and up it comes 13.21. Well, it gives her a little extra distance and actually elevates her, can you believe, to 5th place. So she drags some respectability out of her competition at the 11th hour. Does Maria Sine. Minus 0.4 the wind there, very slight wind. Next to go, Krasutska, who has been shunted down to 8th, 13.18. It's so tight in these bottom positions. What can she do? If I tell you that fourth is 13.23, fifth 13.21, sixth 13.20, seventh 13.19, and eighth 13.18. Astonishing. 5 centimetres covering 5 places at the bottom of this triple jump field. Fourth through to 8th. Covered by 5 centimetres. 13.10 there for Krasutska. No improvement for her. She will finish in 8th place. Ekaterina Sarayeva of Azerbaijan had 3 jumps and 3 no throws. She couldn't even take part in this second half of this triple jump competition. Now Suka, Linda Suka of Czech Republic. 13.19 she produced in rounds 1 and 2, then a 13.14. Since then, she's had run-throughs in round 4 and round 5. She's not produced anything in those contests. Looks really fired up for this. She's determined, aggressive, looking for something better here. She's lying in 7th place. Has she found something better there? I'm not sure she has. Gets the white flag, though. She certainly attacked it. The crowd enjoying it. So she's lying in 7th with 13.19. If she can find, I don't know, say 5 centimetres, she can move up to 4th from 7th. 13.19 it was her best of the day. 13.47. That's a monster. She moves up into 3rd place. It's the same distance as Baranivska in 2nd, but Baranivska, of course, has better second jumps. So Linda Susha of Czech Republic has just bounded from 7th through to 3rd, and she must be thinking, why on earth couldn't I do that half an hour ago in one of the earlier rounds? Benyosite, who came into this competition, this second half of the competition after 3 rounds in 5th place, has now been shunted down to 7th place. She really does need to find something here, but that 13.20 in round 2 was her personal best. I'm not sure she's found anything more there. Some good jumping going on here in this final round. Sine hitting her biggest jump of the day with 13.21 in round 6. Susha, biggest jump of the day in round 6, 13.47. And Benyosite of Lithuania, 12.98. No, it's not to be. No improvement for her. She stays in 7th place, and that's where she will finish. Gainova then. There's her card. She's lying in 4th place with 13.39. That came in round 5. They love her here. She's a local athlete. Trying to fire her up for this one. Diana Zyganova. She's lying in 4th place. European Under-23 champion back in 2019. 6 years later. In 2019, she won that European Under-23 title. Well, I'm not sure she thinks it's any better. She won that European Under-23 title in Gavle. 13.89 she jumped there. That was in Gavle, Sweden. But here, 13.39 is all she could manage. 6 years ago, she was jumping 50 centimetres better 13.31 for Zaganova. So no improvement after her 13.38 and 13.39 in rounds 4 and 5 respectively. So just 3 jumps to come. Next to go is Korsun, who is up in 5th place at the moment with 13.23, which she jumped in rounds 2 and 3. Korsun, who's a 6.37 long jumper. This is very much a specialist discipline. Generates good speed. Now, what can she do here? It looks like good, consistent jumping, but she didn't like it. It's not celebrating, is she? She's in 5th place, 13.23. She needs 13.39 to move up a place. Well, she looks frustrated, Korsun, waiting for that mark to come through. $13.03. No improvement. In fact, the smallest of her series. Every single jump valid, but $13.03 has her going in the wrong direction. Now, Grigsaite, who was in 2nd place after 3 rounds, then produced that monstrous jump in round 4 and a solid round 5 jet foot too, 13.50, which is the lead jump, and 13.45 respectively. Gets the crowd behind her. Nice high knees. Oh, that looks good. That looks strong. If she gets the white flag. Yeah, she does. That's superb. And I think she might have extended her lead here. Aina Grigsaite. Waiting for that mark. Well, she's a 14.05 jumper at her best. What has she produced here? 13.56. She does find a bit more. She has extended her lead. I thought she had. It was a super effort. She really worked it. Good off the board. Nice technique through each of the 3 phases. And a great leg shoot into the sand. And she's given herself now a little bit more of a cushion. Not much of one. She had 3 centimetres. Now she's got 9 centimetres, a cushion over Baranivska of Ukraine. So the Lithuanian could be heading for victory here in front of the home crowd. Unless Baranivska here, Victoria Baranivska, can find something more. Ooh, it's pretty good. I'm not sure it's enough. No, and she knows it. I think it's another solid one. She's got a white flag. But that concludes the competition. And I think Aina Grigsaite, unofficially, is my view, is that Victoria Baranivska probably hasn't done enough. Waiting for that mark to come through. 13.56 is the 6th round mark from Grigsaite. Is it a home win in the final event of the meeting? And what a great meeting it's been. The World Athletics bronze level meeting. Continental Tour bronze meeting. 13.51. Well, but for that 6th round effort of Grigsaite, she would have taken the lead. That is some reaction. Goodness me. She did everything that could have been asked of her. That 13.51 would have been the best of the day. It surpasses the 13.50 of Grigsaite in round 4. But Grigsaite's 13.56 was worth its weight in gold, almost literally, because she wins 13.56 for the Lithuanian in round 6 from Baranivska, the Ukrainians, 13.51, also in round 6. And Susha of Czech Republic, 13:47. Her best coming in round 6 as well. Great competition. There it is. That concludes the women's triple jump. 13:56, 13:51, 13:47. It was close throughout. Look at that bottom places. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. 13:23 down to 13:18. 5 centimetres covering those minor places from 5th through to 8th. Well, it has been a great meeting. There's no doubt about that. Women's triple jump epitomised the quality of the competition we've enjoyed here today. Daniel Stahl, perhaps the performance of the meeting, that's 67.70 in the men's discus. That coming for him in the 4th round. But as the small but enthusiastic crowd here heads home, it's just down to me, Tim Hutchins, to say thanks very much for your company over these last 2.5 hours and more. It's been a very good evening indeed at the Dariusz and Garena Stadium in Kaunas, Lithuania. I've enjoyed it immensely. Some nice developing athletes performing well in front of a home crowd. Other athletes having a really good day, so to speak, at the office, including, of course, that impressive 100 metres win for men by Favour Ash of Nigeria, 10.43 into a minus 1.8 win. And a pretty useful 1,500 metres win as well in the senior men's race. Mafori Mfalele of South Africa, 3:37.42. It just remains for me to say goodbye for now, and thanks very much for being with us, and we'll see you very soon. You've enjoyed it as much as I have. Bye-bye.